Welcome guys, this is Tech Knowledge Made Basic. Up until this point, what we've mainly touched upon and discussed is the new user interface for Windows 8, which is this start screen here. Showed you quite a bit with it and how to use it. We're going to move away from it for a while. We're going to come back to it, but for now I'm going to show you what the Windows 8 desktop looks like. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and change the background to my start screen because I really don't like that. And as if you recall from a previous tutorial, what you need to do in order to go ahead and change that is take the pointer all the way to the top right of the screen to access the charms, and we're going to go ahead and click on settings on the bottom, do a left click, and all the way on the bottom right where it says change your PC settings, go ahead and do another left click, and under personalize under PC settings on the left, make sure that's highlighted, and we'll go ahead and click on start screen. And here we'll just go change it back to what it was by default. We'll keep the color, that's a pretty nice color. And remember, there's two different ways, well there's several different ways actually to get back to the start screen from here. We can go ahead and access our charms again and click on start. But another way that's going to be quicker, especially if you have multiple programs and multiple apps open, if you recall from a previous tutorial, if you take the pointer all the way to the top left of the screen and access this side, where it allows you to actually switch back and forth between different applications that are open. You have the start also down here on the bottom left, so go ahead and click it that way. Let's do a left click over it. So we're right back to our start screen. Now to access the desktop, there's going to be a desktop tile that's going to be on all Windows 8 computers, and that's it right here. It'll just simply say desktop, and it'll have the background to whatever background is on your desktop on the tile itself. So one thing I do want to show you though before we click on it, go ahead and do a right click, and as you can see it brings up the commands for that tile, and the only ones we have is unpin and to make it smaller. Now, it doesn't allow us to uninstall it, which is a very good thing because we need that specific tile in order to get back and forth between the desktop and the start screen. So anyways, let's go ahead and do a left click over desktop, and here we have it. This is the Windows 8 desktop, and as you see and as you may notice, it's pretty much the same as almost any previous version of the Windows operating system. You know, you have the taskbar that spans all the way on the bottom part of the screen all the way across, so that's going to be your taskbar. Now on the left hand side here you still have your quick launch toolbar, so you have your quick launch icons, and all you have to do is just do a left click over any of them and it's going to open that up. And on your right hand side of the taskbar you still have your notification area where you have your clock, your calendar. If I do a left click over here over the time, it's going to bring up my clock, my calendar, where I can change the date and time settings if I wanted to. Of course you have your volume adjustment here, your network settings. You also have the Action Center, which has been a part of I believe Vista and Windows 7 also. But if you go ahead and click on it, that you can open the Action Center, and that gives you some settings with basically security and maintenance is what it is. So as you see here, right now I don't have any notifications in there. And then if you click on this little triangle here where it says show hidden icons, that's just the icons that some of the programs that are open on the computer, but it kind of compresses it so you don't have a long span of notifications here on the right hand side. And as you can also see, I already have shortcuts. I have shortcuts of different things on my computer. Now by default these aren't there. The way I got them there was I did a right click on the desktop, just anywhere on the desktop, and go ahead and do a left click on personalize in the drop down menu, and all the way in the top left hand side where it says change desktop icons, go ahead and do a left click over it. And as you can see I have the computer, user files, recycle bin, and control panel checked. But if I uncheck those, hit apply, hit OK, go ahead and close out of here, they're gone. So by default, when you first get a computer, Windows 8 computer, you may have some shortcuts already on your desktop, or you may have a clean desktop here where there's nothing on there. But let's get those back. Go ahead again, do a right click on the desktop, do a left click over personalize, left click where it says change desktop icons, and let's bring those icons back because they definitely come in handy. Apply, OK. Let's go ahead and close it out again. And one other quick thing that I do want to show before we end this tutorial is that you can make shortcuts for just about anything. Now what we're going to do is we're going to access our charm. So we'll go ahead and take our pointer all the way to the top right again, and what we want to access is search. Go ahead and do a left click on search, and these icons that you see here, these applications, are what would have been in the start menu. And if we go back to the desktop, you can see that that's actually the biggest difference between any other operating system that Microsoft has ever had, is that the icon for the start button is no longer there. So you actually don't have a start menu that's going to come up as soon as you click on it. So if you take your pointer all the way to the bottom left, you can see that the start screen appears there. So you can, that's another way to access the start screen. Just go ahead and do a left click there. And like I was saying, if we go ahead and access the charms, go ahead and click on search in the charms. You can make a shortcut on your desktop for just about any of these applications that we have here. Let's just say we want a shortcut for Word. Just go ahead and find Word. Word, where are you? I'm blind, I can't see it right now. Let's just do Publisher. We'll go ahead and do a right click over Publisher. You can see it gives us our command for that specific app. What we want to click on is this specific one right here on the bottom where it says Open File Location. Do a left click over it, and that's going to bring up all the shortcut location for the Microsoft Office. And from here I can go ahead and just do a right click over Word, and where it says Send To in the drop down menu, it says Desktop Shortcut. Go ahead and do a left click, and you can see now we have a shortcut for Word on our actual desktop. So we also have the tile for Word on our start screen, but now we have a shortcut on our desktop. So we're going to go over a lot more of the features with the Windows 8 desktop and how to navigate around it without the start menu not being there any longer. So this ends this tutorial. I do thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your time.